What's up, guys? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day to be a neighbor. Would you be mine? You remember that
It's
song?
always beautiful when I'm here.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Uh, no, guys, final score is back again. We've had a lot of time off, but we've had a lot going on too. Um, Here to talk some football. We haven't talked football in a while. Matthew, whoever that guy is, and that goat, whatever you want to call him, is down here. What's up, Matthew?
What's up, Stevie? Just so you know, don't know if you're caught up on the latest lingo, but GOAT stands for greatest of all time.
Well,
And
I am caught up on the lingo, but I mean, we were talking about you. I mean, that's why I figured goat was just more like bah bah.
yeah, and we're back on the show today.
Yeah, we're back. A lot has gone on since the last time we were up here. Some good, some not so good. New York Giants. Excuse me. Um,
Steelers and playing Miami in the playoffs.
hey, playoffs. We'll be there in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, at least I would be.
Yeah. So right, of course we had Thanksgiving week last week. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, Matthew. I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to make sure before Thanksgiving I turned my scales back 15 pounds. With the time change, and everything, I want to make sure I did.
Change and weight change too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because
So
I should have did it 30 pounds, but a little
so
bit help.
we had the three games on Thanksgiving. Then we had a Black Friday game, which is the first time they've done that. For
Yeah.
Jets fans, it ended up being a Black Friday for sure. Um, Want to talk about something before we get started on the talking about the games and stuff. A lot has been talked about the last 2 years, especially last year, and now it's starting to get a little bit of a. I'm hearing a little more of it this year about NFL being scripted. Um, there's uh, how do I say this? I don't want to think that the NFL is scripted or anything like the NFL wants certain teams to win, but gosh knows, I'm telling you, those two teams that won the Super Bowl last year, they sure do seem to be getting some favorable
Yeah.
calls. And we've talked about the Chiefs. There was a play this year. Robert Matthews sent it in to us where Mahomes takes off down the field and a wide receiver for the Chiefs just drags one of his defenders, just drags him out of bounds, pulls him out of bounds, and that's supposed to be a hold, but no call. And there's been some other calls there. This past Sunday, Buffalo and Philadelphia. Um, Tight game, very close game. Two plays in particular that bothered me. See, my dogs are all upset about it too. Uh,
Yeah.
there was one that Josh Allen got taken down and pulled down horse collar. What's up? What's going on? That's got to be Robert calling me Steve-O. Um, but he gets horse collar and taken down, and they actually call him for uh, intentional grounding. And I mean, you can see where he was pulled down by his jersey. I mean, his jersey has been pulled so much it's stretched. And then there was another play later on that Stephon Diggs, and there's pictures. You can look on the Final Score Facebook group. There's pictures of it where the Eagles defender pulls Stephon Diggs. I mean, he's pulling him. No call. And the Eagles managed to come back and win, come from behind and win 37-34 in overtime. Um, yeah, I mean, the Eagles have had, not picking on the Eagles, but just stating facts. Eagles have had questionable calls in a few games this year. Um, Do I want to believe the NFL script? No, I don't want to believe the script because you still
No.
have to put the players out there on the field. You've got to have that. But do I think there's been some favoritism? Yeah, I do. I think there's been some favoritism. I mean, I know all teams. uh, There's probably you can look back and there's favorite call, but these seem to be at key moments of games a lot. Um, Not down to the Eagles as a team. I'm just saying you got a 12th man, and I'm not talking about Seattle's crowd. I'm talking about the guys in the stripes. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know what you think about it, but I do think there's some favoritism for those teams, for those two teams right now.
And I think it's more than just those teams. I think it's I don't want to believe it's scripted because then it kind of takes the fun out of it, takes the competition out of it, you know. But you look at some things and it's like makes you question. Um, one thing that I kind of heard somebody say, and I kind of look back at it and I agree with it, and I don't agree with it, but anyway, when the Giants played the Jets, there was the big talk about Aaron Rodgers getting hurt and quickly recovering.
Mm-hmm.
And the talk was that Giants would have won that game, but it was scripted for the Jets to win so they could make the playoffs in time for Aaron Rodgers to be back.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm not saying
I don't.
that, huh?
Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
I'm not saying that the Giants would have won that game if it wasn't scripted. I'm just saying the way the plays were called, some it makes you wonder if Vegas is like calling, be like, "Hey, this is what you need to do."
Yeah. Well,
Um, Even if it's not the Giants, like the Bills, they had a hard time with the intentional grounding with Josh Allen, like you said, and the Eagles and the Chiefs and Taylor Swift.
oh,
It kind of like adds on to the story,
don't
and
don't bring that up again. That's kind of down a little bit.
it has, thankfully, but
God.
apparently Taylor Swift is an Eagles fan originally, but she's dating Travis Kelsey, blah blah blah. So they wanted to switch it up this year and make the Eagles win.
Oh, it was funny in the Eagles Chiefs game with the way they lined up on offense. That picture where it said um, Kelsey, who was the center, then Jalen Hurts, Kelsey Hurts, and then DeAndre Swift was in the backfield right behind him. It lined up Kelsey Hurts Swift. So is that a sign of things to come? I don't know. We'll have
Another
to.
song, another song
There'll
on
be,
the.
there'll be another freaking album about
Oh
that.
yeah, oh yeah,
Um, Robert Matthews making another comment. Like former ECU Pirates football coach Steve Logan once said, the refs know before the game who is supposed to win.
yeah, yeah. That's kind of what I was getting at. Like, I
Yeah.
think you know Vegas tells them what to do. They don't if they don't let it make it. If the refs don't make it happen, then it's their ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're talking about the Jets, and the Jets are sitting back at 4-7 right now. They are way out of the playoff picture right now. But guess what came out yesterday?
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers is the 21-day practice window has been open for Aaron Rodgers. He has been cleared for uh, clear to throw, clear to move around. And I'll tell you this: a guy at that age, what is he like, 38, 37, 38, something like that,
Yeah,
to come back from a torn Achilles in the time he's done it. And no offense to old guys, because I'm an old guy, but that's pretty remarkable that he was able to do that. I mean, I'm not the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan, and I know Robert made the comment the other day when I posted it on the Facebook group that as slow as he was now, what's he going to do? Crawl when he gets back out there? So yeah, it was that's something. I mean, but here's my thing. They going to be able to make the playoffs. They're 4-7. And I don't know when he's not coming back this week. And looking at the schedule ahead of them, they've got Houston. Hold on, that's December 10th. Let's see. I want to see the whole schedule here. Okay. They've lost the last 4 in a row after beating the Giants. They've got Atlanta this Sunday, which could be well, I don't know. Atlanta's playing a decent ball right now. Atlanta, then Houston, Miami, Washington, Cleveland, and New England. How many of those have winning records? You got 3 with winning records. So, is it possible they could make the playoffs? I don't think so. I don't even think Aaron Rodgers could help that offense because and the attitude on that team right now sucks so bad. Yeah. I just don't see it happening. I think, do you play Rodgers? Do you take the chance and bring him back this early? I mean, coming back this early from an injury like that, do you take a chance and bring Aaron Rodgers back for this year? I don't think you do at 4-7, because let's say you somehow manage to win the next 6 games in a row. That puts you at 10-7. You still might not make the playoffs at 10-7 with the way the AFC is. So what do? If let's say you're the general manager, you make the call. What does Matthew do?
If they don't make the playoffs, I would not play. I mean, obviously you won't play them; they won't be playing either. But
yeah, but I'm saying you're the second to last ranked team in the AFC right now. You've lost 4 in a row. You're 4-7. Very slim chance of you making the playoffs.
No, I would not play him.
Rodgers back.
No, I would not play him. However, I would keep in consideration that the guy's 39 years old and we just paid him, and next season's next season, and he'll be touching 40. So
I don't know. I don't think I play him. I really don't. Unless I get. I mean, of course, you're in emergency mode now with the quarterbacks you got there. Zach Wilson been benched. I can't even tell you the name of this guy that's playing for him now. What's his name? He came. I think he came out of like Washington or something. I don't know. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can pull his name up. No. Nope. His name ain't up. I can't pull the roster up. Anyway, the fact that I don't know his name, I'll tell you that right there.
It's a weird name.
Yeah, I remember Robert actually texted me. It's like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? I was like, I couldn't tell you, bud. I don't know. Let's see if I can pull up the depth chart right quick.
He's another UDFA.
Yep.
Like, nowhere.
All right. Tim Boyle. That's his name. Tim Boyle. So now Zach Wilson has been moved down to 3rd string. Trevor Siemian is 2nd string, which, Trevor Siemian's got some NFL experience, a lot of NFL experience. But why? I don't know if he just came over or what, but I probably would try him before I try Tim Boyle. So yeah, I don't think I bring him back. If it's possible he could come back, 21-day window's open, but I don't think I even bring him back.
But again, you look at it, I think that's the whole point of Aaron Rodgers getting healthy so quick. Like, I'm glad he did, but he was pushing that hard to get healthy that quick for a reason. He could have just took his time, you know what I mean, and took it slow.
This is what he had to say about it. He spoke to local reporters Thursday. He returned to practice Wednesday, 3-month anniversary of his surgery, but said he's not close to being able to play. He acknowledged he won't be 100% healthy if he returns less than 4 months after surgery, and added that it wouldn't make sense to rush his return if the Jets are out of the playoff hunt. He said, I think anything is possible. Let's see. The 4-time NFL MVP said he needs to make sure he can make it through consecutive practices and acknowledge the risk of playing and the potential of re-injuring the Achilles tendon. He added that in the worst case scenario, he would then do a slower rehab than the current program that's geared toward him getting on the field again. So in my opinion, there's not a downside to coming back and, re-injuring it. I don't feel like I'm competing in science when it comes to this rehab. I'm competing against conventional rehab protocol, but until someone breaks that protocol and shows you can do it a different way, the impossible stays the impossible. He turns 40 on Saturday, and he's on track to have the quickest known comeback from a torn Achilles among professional athletes, not just the NFL players. Somebody made the comments agreeing with us, no point in bringing Rodgers back now. Yeah. I don't think so either. I just don't think there's no point to it. And if your plan is to have Aaron Rodgers as your starting quarterback next year, and I guess that's their plan, then I would have him as, look, get yourself ready, get yourself in shape. We'll be ready next year. So it is what it is.
Yeah, because if you're not gonna make the playoffs, ain't no need to put him in there, and they're gonna try to hurt him again.
It's not just that. It's not. You don't know how strong that Achilles is. Yeah, he's coming back. He's coming back early, but you don't know how strong that Achilles is. You're going to take a chance, and if he does re-injure it, then that's gonna pretty much end his career at the age of 40. If you re-injure that Achilles, that's going to probably do it for you. No doubt about it. At 40 years old, you re-injure that Achilles, I think he's done.
And it can easily happen if you.
Oh yeah, if
playing on the field in a real game is different than practicing with a practice squad. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly.
You can twist something easy.
So Buffalo Bills news. I don't know if you've heard about this, Matthew. There's an arrest warrant issued for Von Miller.
Yep.
For a charge of assaulting a pregnant person. Police said officers responded to a major disturbance call in uptown Dallas at 11 a.m. Wednesday morning. He left the scene before officers arrived and had been arrested as of 10 a.m. Thursday, but the victim was treated for minor injuries at the scene but wasn't taken to the hospital. This is what they're saying happened. Miller grabbed the neck of the alleged victim and applied pressure multiple times during an argument. This is according to the arrest warrant. Miller also caused her to fall by yanking her hair and pulling a chunk out of it. Police said the woman had minor abrasions on her left hand and bruises on her abdomen, her left bicep, and neck that's consistent with applied pressure. The alleged victim is Miller's longtime girlfriend, and assaulting a pregnant person is a third-degree felony charge in Texas. What the heck?
That if the accusations are true, you can kiss his career goodbye.
He's
done.
And the fact that he left the scene before the cops got there, and they haven't. He knows he's in trouble.
Yeah.
But he's staying out of it. But this is not the first time he's also the subject of a criminal investigation while playing for the Broncos. though prosecutors declined to file charges and authorities didn't disclose details of the probe. Wow. But if this really happened, and we're not saying it did, but it sure sounds like it from what the police are saying. Then I think his season's over, and who knows? Maybe his career. We'll see. Ray Rice. I guess if Kareem Hunt can come back from stuff like that, Ray Rice never came back. If Kareem Hunt can come back from stuff like that, I guess you can't say his career is over with yet.
Times has changed since then, though. Well, when was that? When Kareem Hunt got in
Kareem
trouble?
Hunt, that's been
A long time ago.
It's been 4 or 5 years ago.
Time has changed since then. It got a little more serious.
Ray Rice, though, when his happened, he never played again after that. So I don't know. It's not looking good for Von Miller, and a bad year for the Buffalo Bills, an underachieving year. It just gets worse as it goes by. I mean, they're 6-6 right now, and out of the playoff hunt right now. They are sitting outside that playoff window. Hold on, let's see where they're at. So they're 3 spots out of the playoff picture right now, but they're only like a half a game out. And things could change, but they've got Miami. What's Buffalo's? Let's see what Buffalo's schedule is after this. And they're saying there's zero chance that Buffalo's coach gets fired this year, McDermott, which I think he's on the hot seat. Okay, so Buffalo, wow. Buffalo has 5 games left. They're on a bye week this week. Then they go at Kansas City next week. The week after that, host Dallas. Then they have the Chargers, then New England, and then end the season at Miami. So you got
two of them games are beatable.
You got 2 games one game you should win for sure at New England. The Chargers game, you should win that, but it just depends on what Chargers team shows up. The other 3, they're gonna be tough, and 2 of the 3 are away games, and you're playing Kansas City, and they're gonna have 12 men on the field at Kansas City. So yeah, I don't know if you might not see Buffalo in the playoffs. And what do you do with Buffalo after that? I mean, this team has, since that playoff game in Kansas City, that epic playoff game where they score 3 touchdowns in 2 minutes to end the game, Kansas City actually kicked the field goal to win that game, I think, in overtime. They have gone backwards. I mean, they haven't got better. They've got worse. It's just, I don't know. You have no running game. Your defense is not as good as they were, which, they lost their middle linebacker, Edmonds. I think he went to the Bears. I think that was a bigger hit than they thought. And I think one of their linebackers, Milano, that was playing so good, he got hurt early in the season. He was out for the year. So this team, the window is closing for Buffalo. I hate to tell you that, Bills fan, but your window is closing, and it may be quicker than we think, than I thought, because I actually thought this year they would be – I actually thought they would be the best team in the not in the AFC, but in their division. I thought it would be a dogfight between them and the Chiefs. This game next week, I thought that would be what decided home field advantage in the playoffs in the AFC. But now, not a chance. You're playing for your playoff life now.
If they got 5 games left, if they lose 2 of those games, they're done.
6-6 right now. let's say they do win 5 in a row. Somehow they manage to. There would be 11-6. If you lose those 2 games to the Cowboys and Chiefs, you're 9-8.
And it's hard to make it 9-8 in the AFC.
In the AFC, you will not make the playoffs at 9-8. I don't think this year,
No.
With the way things are going. So Buffalo, you're having a lot of problems right now.
I realized Buffalo wasn't that good. I realized really it clicked in me when they barely beat us.
Yeah, that was
Barely.
the starts of it right there.
Yeah.
It seemed like they started going downhill after that.
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers fired head coach Frank Reich 11 games into his coaching career with Carolina. I have to say on that, I understand the reason why they fired him, but do I think it was right to do him that way? No. I mean, this is not Frank Reich's fault. The fact that you've got Bryce Young out there who looks like he would be playing middle school football with the size he is and the fact that he hasn't caught on when you say, oh, well, he's a rookie quarterback. Look at Houston. Look at Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, C.J. Stroud is lighting it up in Houston. I mean, he's putting out one of the best rookie quarterback years, and you can't tell me, well, he's got the team around him. No, nobody went into this season thinking Houston had a snowball chance in hell of winning the AFC South or making the playoffs, and Houston sits right 1 game back right now. I mean, if they'd have beat Jacksonville this past Sunday, they would be in first place in the AFC South because they had already beat Jacksonville once this year. They are for real, I think. DeMeco Ryans has done a great job in his first year as a head coach. You don't have a lot of talent around Bryce Young. I get it. Your offensive line is terrible. I get that too. Pretty much the only bright spot on that team is Brian Burns, and he was trade bait to the trade deadline. Frank Reich was not the reason that team was 1-10. The reason that team is 1-10 is
GM.
The owner doesn't know what he's doing. And I know the reason, and you can tell me I'm wrong all you want to. You'll never convince me I'm wrong. The reason Frank Reich was fired right now where he was because Carolina is trying to get a jump start on getting
Bill Belichick.
No. Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions. If they were to go out and get Belichick and Johnson is out there and they haven't made a play there, if they go get Belichick, they're making a huge, huge mistake. Yeah. Belichick is checked out, buddy. Belichick is checked out. And I want to hear all those New England fans out there that were telling me it doesn't matter if Brady's there or not. Belichick is the greatest coach that's ever coached in the NFL, and he'll be able to win without Brady. 2-9. 2-9. You got crap at the quarterback. Oh, he can build a team back. He can build a team. Guess what? Mac Jones and Bailey Zapp, which sounds like a freaking, I don't even know what, sounds like a 80s, one of those 80s pop girls. Tina Marie, Bailey Zapp, whatever you want to call.
Sounds like one of them bug rackets where you hit the bugs with some little zappers.
This team, you have not built a team. That team has gone, you had the year after where they made the playoffs the year after, and everybody said, oh, yeah, Belichick has done a great job. Well, guess what? It's gone downhill every year since then. And he has not built that team back up. And if you saw the press conference the other day, I don't know if you saw it or not, they asked him about using two quarterbacks. Was that the plan? And he was like, he did his usual. He, you can't hardly understand what he says when he's a press conference. He just does not want to be there, and I can't blame him. The last thing I want to do was have these reporters shoving the cameras in my face and asking me stupid questions. But this was a good question. I asked him about the two quarterback system. He's like, I don't know. The game's been over for an hour. They kept on, and he just walked out. I mean, Belichick has checked out, buddy.
Yeah.
And out of respect for him, I don't think Kraft will fire him. I think you'll see, like, at the end of the year, it'll be a mutual parting of the ways. Will he retire? I don't know if he'll retire. I think the aura has kind of gone away from Belichick now. I mean,
he's been doing it since 1974, right?
He's been assistant coach.
Yeah, I mean,
but the aura of greatest coach of all time, that has kind of faded. You don't hear that like you used to. And I mean, I don't know. I always thought, when Brady left and went to the Buccaneers, that was when I saw that, I said, okay, who's going to make out better in this situation? Is it going to be Brady? And obviously Brady made out better. I mean, gets another Super Bowl ring out of it, and Belichick hasn't sniffed a Super Bowl since then. So, Belichick can say what he wants to, and all the Belichick Kool-Aid drinkers out there, Tom Brady made him the greatest coach of all time right there.
Yep.
What you wanted to call him, the greatest coach of all time. So.
And I think that was an issue between him and Tom Brady behind the door.
Well, I think Brady
talk on the media, kind of stirred that up a little bit. Where who's the greatest of all? Is it Tom Brady that's the greatest of all time, or Belichick the greatest coach of all time? And I think it's gotten put a sour taste in each other's mouth, and it got ugly. I think
Brady was determined to prove it that look, I don't have to have Belichick as my coach to win, and he did it. I mean, Belichick, not so much, And Belichick he's not a spring chicken anymore either. He's probably definitely in the twilight of his career. I would just say, he needs to go out like you don't want to go out like this, but you don't want it to get worse either. So I don't know if I'm him, let's not even go to another team. Let's just retire before it gets worse.
You seen that where somebody asked Belichick, is Tom Brady the greatest of all time? And Belichick said, I forgot what year he was born, but he was like, I was only born in 19. And they said, I don't know what happened before that.
Avoiding
I don't know what happened before I was born, but but that's pretty much what he said.
I saw the report come out about Belichick that Cam Newton trying to be relevant again said Robert Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, wants to get Belichick. I don't think that's the case. I think they're after. I think his name's Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions. They were trying to get him last year, and he decided to stay with Detroit. But I think that's the case. I really do. I think this is going to be who they go after. And
which if you look at the Detroit offense right now, that would not be a bad idea.
No, I think it would be
worse than.
I'd rather right now with Carolina. I'd rather get somebody young in there, and young and wants to make moves, wants to open up the playbook. That's what I would do, and that's what you're gonna. I don't know. I wasn't convinced about Bryce Young. from the start.
Yeah.
Sure, and I didn't think C.J. Stroud would be lighting it up like he was right now either. But I don't know. How many great okay. How many great quarterbacks were actually coaching their teams? Brett Favre, Manning, Brady. Who needs a head coach? Now, come on now. Brett, we talked about Brady and Belichick. Brett Favre, oh gosh, Mike Holmgren was a pretty good coach. I'll give that. Mike Holmgren uh, came from the Bill Walsh coaching tree, and he did pretty good with more than one team. You know, he went to Seattle and got them to a Super Bowl, which guess who beat them? Woo-hoo, the Steelers. Manning. Which Manning are you talking about? You talking about Peyton or well? Let's talk about Peyton and Eli.
Yeah. Gotta be Peyton, because Peyton coached when he was with Carolina.
Peyton. Who was with Carolina?
Peyton Manning.
He went with Carolina.
At one time he was.
No, he was not. He was with Denver.
Yeah, it was with Denver, but he also
went from Indianapolis to Denver.
Oh, Indianapolis, yeah. I know it's one of the blue teams.
Peyton had Tony Dungy there in Indianapolis a lot of the time. So I don't know. I think Dungy was pretty good. I'm trying to think of a. I don't know. No way Eli was making calls. Oh, somebody throwing shade at Eli, buddy. Look, he's talking about Peyton. No way Eli was making calls.
I can probably agree with you there. I can agree with you. Probably more.
I think at times.
Yeah.
You know, when you get your quarterback to a certain spot in his career, and Peyton was probably making calls on the field. I'm sure he had the green light to audible whenever he wanted to. Just like Ben. Ben, I think, had that. And I'm sure Favre did too. Once you get to a certain point in your career, if a coach or an offense coordinator as a quarterback, if they don't trust you to make that call, then you don't need to be out there if you've been there for that long. I mean,
yeah,
they had green lights to make calls, and I think you've seen it during especially during 2-minute drills. I think that there's a lot of those veteran quarterbacks that make the calls on them 2-minute drills, and it's probably the best thing for them. I mean, look, I haven't even talked about it. In the span of a week, same week, my college football team, ECU, and my pro team, the Steelers, both make announcements that they're getting rid of their offensive coordinator, which was good moves. You know, Pittsburgh, everybody knows that it was trending one time, fire Canada. Matt Canada gets let go last week. Yeah, last week. It was after the Cleveland game, I believe. He gets let go, and you can see a big. I don't know if it had anything to do with it. I'm assuming it does. They had two guys, Faulkner and Sullivan. One's the quarterback's coach, and I forgot what the other one was. But one of them is they're both kind of co-offensive coordinators now. You can see a big difference in the way the offense rolled in Pittsburgh against Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati does not have one of the better defenses in the NFL, but the fact that they were letting Pickett take shots down the field instead of this little dink and dunk crap, that it becomes so predictable. It was good. First, I think Sunday was the first time in 50-some games that Pittsburgh had over 400 yards of total offense. And, I mean, that's pretty bad when you think about it. It's been that long. But just got to figure out how to score points. I mean, we have over 400 yards offense, but you only scored 16 points. That's not good. You just got to figure out how to get in the end zone. Robert Matthews saying ECU had a Matt Counter. Yeah, it was kind of predictable. You don't know who to blame there at ECU, whether it was Kirkpatrick or Houston. It was Houston telling him what to call, or was he just making those calls? I don't know. It is, but now Kirkpatrick is gone, so ECU is looking for a new offensive coordinator. I don't. I've heard some names, but evidently Houston's going to be back next year, which that was up in the air too. But I know Matthew doesn't keep up with ECU football too much,
No.
but kind of got off there a little bit. Looking at some of the games from last week, and we just go through them. The Thursday games. Of course, you're going to have Detroit playing. Detroit drops to the Lions, and it surprises me because this was not a close game, not as close as the score lets you know. Jordan Love had a really good game. He looked good. Whether he can do it consistent or not, I don't know. But the Packers get to win 29-22. I did not see that coming. I don't know about you, Matthew.
Yeah, I didn't. No. Hopefully it's not consistent because we got them next.
And then you had the Cowboys and the Commanders, which 1 minute it was 20-10.
Yeah.
I walked out of the room for like 5 minutes. I look up, it's 45-10. Ron Rivera, your seat is very warm. As a matter of fact, I think it's on fire. His seat is on fire. Yeah,
Reports are coming out that Josh, what's his name? Josh Harris said he'll have. Basically, he hinted out that Ron Rivera will stay till the end of the season, but after that, it's unknown.
Yeah, I don't think
it's kind of
his job is gone. I think he's done. And everybody's talking about Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator. He came over from Kansas City Chiefs. Would he be the next line? But a lot of the players don't get along with Bieniemy, which I think sometimes when you hear that, sometimes I think, well, that could be because Bieniemy is getting on the players for not doing their jobs. And from what I hear, reports, some of the podcasts I listen to, one of the Commanders podcasts I listened to, there was some altercation on the sideline, not really physical, but Bieniemy was just really getting on somebody for not doing their job. If that's the case, if you don't get along with a coach for telling you how to do your job, then you need to hang it up, because
you don't respect them, or
you don't do your job. I mean, that goes for anywhere. If my job, if I don't do my job, I'm going to get talked about. I'm going to get come down on. And I mean, but yeah, what about the halftime show? Dolly Parton coming out in a Dallas Cowboys cheerleading uniform. And I'm telling you what, dude, doesn't look bad for her. I think she's 77. She didn't look bad in that uniform. She looked pretty good.
Do they have any light poles out there?
Light poles?
No, mind. I'll tell you later.
My gosh, I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Brian Mullen saying last week's game revealed the near Bears should never be on Monday Night Football again, even though they won. It was horrible. I'll tell you why they won Monday Night Football, because it's required. Every team gets at least one game on Monday Night Football. That was a rule put in a few years back. So that was the reason the Bears won Monday Night Football. But you don't see them on more than one. Yeah, Bears are pretty bad. But that game, everybody was praising Josh Dobbs. And, I want Josh Dobbs to do good. He was a long-time backup for the Steelers. And I was pretty stoked about him. He was doing so good. To take the Cardinals team and upset the Cowboys and had the Cardinals playing pretty good ball, and then he gets traded to Minnesota. The Cardinals were like, okay, well, Kyler Murray's coming back, so we need to get some of him. Traded to Minnesota. Kirk Cousins is out, and he was doing good with Minnesota, but he really stunk it up on Monday night. I think 4 interceptions and 12-10 in a game of field goals, 1 touchdown and 5 field goals. So yeah, it didn't work out too well for Mr. Dobbs, and they're already talking about, well, we need to find another quarterback to take his place. So Anyway. All right, so then the nightcap game of Thanksgiving, the 49ers were all over the Seahawks 31-13. After a stretch where the 49ers really haven't been playing their best ball, they put it on the Seahawks. And the Seahawks just don't. Geno's kind of gone backwards a little bit. I know he's got some injury concerns, but for after getting comeback player of the year and getting this big contract, he's kind of gone backwards. Um, so I don't know what you'll see out of Seattle for the next 6 weeks next 6 weeks.
But other than Geno Smith, though, they don't look bad. They're not a bad football team.
Yeah, they're going to find out tonight. They're playing the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I think their start running back was questionable. I don't know if he was going to make it or not for tonight. Robert Matthews, does Iowa have a chance against Michigan? Iowa has got a great defense. Iowa doesn't score a lot of points, so I'm gonna do the Dumb and Dumber. Use that quote for Dumb and Dumber. About 1 in a million, and the Iowa people saying, "So you telling me there's still a chance?" I think it's about a 1 in a million chance that Iowa gets a win over Michigan in the championship game. Michigan's just too strong. Iowa just doesn't have the offense to put up points. I think if Michigan scores 10 points, I think game over.
Yeah.
Iowa just doesn't have it. You think that was the Bears' second Monday night football game this year? Let's see. We're going to look at the Bears. I'm going to see if I can pull up the Bears schedule. And it's possible because if you remember, everybody was praising what's his name, Fields. He was going to be up for MVP. Yeah, that didn't work out well. Let's see. They started September 10th against Green Bay, the 17th, the 24th, October 1st, the 5th. They played Thursday night. That was a Thursday night game. 29th, the 5th. No, they played another primetime game. That was a Thursday night game against the Commanders. I think that's what you're thinking of, Brian. I think that's what you're thinking of. But just one Monday night game. So getting back on the Black Friday game. Wow. Have a good one, bud. Brian is headed to band practice.
Nice.
The Dolphins just demolished the Jets. I mean, yeah, it is what it is with the Jets right now. 34-13. And Miami's just too good. Their offense they're fast, but you think about it. Buffalo shut them down. And looking at the 3 losses, who were the 3 losses to? One was to, I think the Chiefs beat them, right?
That was the first loss.
The Chiefs, the Bills. Let's see. Who was the third? Robert,
Eagles?
It may have been the Eagles, yeah. All right, here we go. Kansas City 21-14, loss. Philadelphia 31-17 loss, and then the 48-20 Buffalo beat them. That's 3 losses. So, but I don't know. Miami playing the Jets now is just like a tune-up game for right now. And I mean, hate to say it, I wish the Jets were on Pittsburgh's schedule right now. But and then again, Pittsburgh plays down to their competition a lot. So that would probably be bad. Then we get into the Sunday games. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Texans 24-21. Texans try to kick a field goal at the end and just to tie it and miss it by just a little bit. It was a little short in a game that may decide the AFC South. Jacksonville is one of those teams that I can't figure out.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can't either.
One where they get through a stretch where they look freaking awesome. ATN is running the ball. He's doing great. Trevor Lawrence is doing great. Then they'll go through these phases where the teams they lose to eh, are just teams they're not supposed to lose to. And you don't want if you want to be a playoff team and go somewhere, that's not what you want to do. Um, there are 3 losses, and I know they beat us. San Francisco beat the bricks off of them 34-3, which I can understand that. Houston 37-17. Kansas City 17-9. So really not 3 bad losses, but I don't know. They just don't look as consistent to me. They just look like one week they can play, they can light it up. Next week, not so much.
Well,
Uh,
one week they make no mistakes, hardly no mistakes at all. Then the next week is so many mistakes. They look terrible, but they end up coming out with the win because they got a lot of close games.
yeah. And then of course you got Panthers lose to the Titans. Nothing unusual there. That's the game that you just don't really care about. Just like the next game, Saints and the Falcons. Um, Desmond Ritter, for some reason, the Falcons want to really push him. I guess because he's young, and uh, Taylor Heineke came in and did a great job for them as backup while Ritter was hurt. But I guess they want Ritter in there. They get the win 24-15. Buccaneers and Colts. Gardner Minshew with a win over Mayfield 27-20. The Browns and the Broncos. What about the Broncos? Start off 1-5. Now all of a sudden, have they got it figured out? They're 6-5.
I don't know, but it really surprised me. Their talks are saying that Russell Wilson has turned it around, but I
Uh,
don't. I don't think so. Looks like more of their defense is pretty good.
it's more the defense. Let's look
Yeah.
at Wilson's stats right now. Well, I was looking for it. Let's see. Hmm. Where you at, Russ? Russell Wilson. Well, it won't let me pull up his stat. Anyway, I don't think Russell's the reason they turned it
No,
around. I mean, I think he's playing better, but I don't know if he's got it figured out yet or not.
I mean you still got low scoring games with the Broncos.
They put 29 on Cleveland, and Cleveland's got one of the better defenses in the NFL. So
Yeah,
that was kind of surprising to me. Um, then the Rams all over the Cardinals, 37-14. Kyler Murray's back. He stopped playing Fortnite, and I don't know if he played Fortnite. What was that other game?
Minecraft.
No, not Minecraft. What's the war game?
God of War.
No, no. I'm telling I'm getting old. I don't remember that. It'll come to me. Chiefs over
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
No, not Mortal Kombat. It's a war game.
Okay.
They used to come out every year on the PlayStation and the Xbox. It's like you're playing in World War II or something.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, we talked about the Bills losing to the Eagles in overtime, 37-34. Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-17. The Ravens get a win over the Chargers 2010. And look, I heard something this was I don't know if it's ever been this bad or been this many different starting quarterbacks in the NFL this year, but I think when Browning started for the Bengals, he was the 50th different starting quarterback in the NFL this year. 50.
Wow.
I mean, you think about it, you got 32 teams, so that means you got
Two different.
18 different, another 18 starters after that. And it's probably going to be worse because I think there's a chance, believe it or not, when Cleveland plays this week, that Joe Flacco may be starting for the Browns. He's
51.
yeah, he's moved up to number 2 after they just signed him last week, and they were talking about I can't remember the name. See, this is what happens when you get all these freaking quarterbacks. I can't remember the name of the quarterback. The Browns' current starting quarterback is in concussion protocol this week, so they don't know for sure. All right, let's talk about your boys, Matthew. Y'all get a big win over the Patriots, 10-7, low scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about Danny DeVito at quarterback for? What's his name?
Tommy. Yeah, Tommy DeVito.
Is his mom going to let him come out and play this week? That's what I want to know, because he kept saying, I still live at home. My mom makes me chicken and she makes my bed. So
yeah,
let him come out and play this week.
Which isn't you know what though, which isn't uncommon for Italians, but it's just I don't know. It just seems weird with a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, when he started talking about, well, my mom makes my bed for me every morning. I go home and she's got me chicken cooked. I'm like, really, dude?
Yeah, I mean, like, which the Italians are like used to that, but from the outside, it's like, are you serious, man? You're in the NFL, but I like what Tommy's doing. I think it's a good story.
Tommy DeVito.
DeVito, he's gonna own an Italian shop one day, a pizza shop.
Over here.
Be on the next Ratatouille. but I like what he's doing. I think I like his confidence. I really do. It gets my nerves that Giants fans are already being like, "Oh, he's gonna be the first string quarterback. Get rid of Jones." No. That's stupid.
What? Hey,
he's done well. He's 2-0 for us, minus the game with the Jets. Yes, he is.
What about the Cowboys game?
No, I'm saying as a starting quarterback.
He started in the Cowboys game. That was the game they were talking about, that the starting quarterback was still living at home. His mama was making.
Yeah, that's right. So he's 2-1.
Yeah, a big old one there.
And it's a beautiful story, but I like what he's doing. I mean, he's got a lot to grow. He's a young kid.
Do you think that Daniel Jones, with that big contract, kind of got big-headed?
No, I don't. I really don't. I think it was just. I think it was bad luck. I don't think he got big-headed. He's still like super humble, right?
Right.
But I also think he can't help. Nobody can. You cannot. It's hard not to get hurt behind that offensive line.
Well, that's true. I mean, I'm not talking about the being hurt. I mean, I'm just talking about
in general, like
his play. You think that had more to do with the offensive line? You think that's?
No. I don't think he got big-headed.
Okay. Because
he don't.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you good. He don't show me that. He's not showing signs that he got big-headed and he can't be stopped, or he don't got the money now. It's too late. I think he's a dedicated quarterback and he works hard.
Yeah, because we talk about it all the time, how these quarterbacks, when they get these big contracts, the next year things go down the crapper.
Yeah, and I remember talking about it up here.
Yeah.
When the deal, when the deal was signed, and you asked me, do you think it's going to go to his head? And I said no, and I still don't think it's gone to his head.
Well, he'll have a chance next year.
I just think it's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate. But it seems like we're gonna have him next year. I don't think they're gonna draft a quarterback draft.
Oh no, I wouldn't if I spent that much money on.
Oh no, exactly. We have a lot of other holes to fill in first before we can talk about getting another quarterback.
Yeah.
because I don't care if it's Brady out there or Roethlisberger or whoever it is, Manning. They're going to be running for their lives.
So Matthew, here comes the Dallas Cowboy Brigade. It's got to be Eric Sawyer.
Yeah.
Are y'all ready to watch a real football team tonight? What do you got to say to that, Matthew?
A real football team?
Yeah. Seattle?
DC 4L. DC Dallas Cowboys for the loss.
Let me tell you this. Cowboys have a good team.
They do. Yeah.
They are, but let's see. New England. They beat New England. What's New England's record? 2-9.
Yeah.
Rams. What's the Rams record?
Not much better. Not too much.
Rams are 5-6. Let's see.
Giants. They beat the Giants twice, and they're
The Chargers are 4-7. Philadelphia lost. That's a winning team. The Giants, yeah, they beat the Giants. That's losing team. Carolina, losing team.
Yep.
Washington, losing team.
Losing team.
There is a trend there. Arizona, what's Arizona's record? Not good, and they beat you. What? How many have y'all played? Any team but those two with a winning record?
And they almost lost against the Chargers.
Yes.
So
Seattle is going to be probably without their starting running back tonight. They're 6-5. Philadelphia, yeah, that's going to be a tough one. Buffalo, Miami, Detroit, yeah, leading and ending with Washington. My thing is the winning teams that y'all played, y'all lost to.
I don't think Buffalo is going to be an issue. I think Dallas can beat Buffalo.
Maybe Buffalo will get a fight, it'll light a fire in the Buffalo, but that San Francisco game, y'all were so keyed up for 42-10. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, Cowboys. I'm actually, believe it or not, and you're gonna think I'm crazy, Matthew. Believe it or not, I'm actually pulling for the Cowboys tonight. A good friend of mine who has been a diehard Cowboys fan as long as I've known him. We've known each other since we were kids. Is there, and he's. I think this is his first game seeing the Cowboys. So hopefully for him, I will pull for the Cowboys tonight to win.
And I think they will.
I think they'll beat Seattle. I mean, if they don't, then the Cowboy fans will start taking some of the little stuff they've been wearing all year long off. Like, they come in there with a hat, the jersey. I guess they got underwear on, socks, and whatever else. And then, like I said, the closer it gets to January, stuff starts fading off, and they start whatever basketball team they pull for, they start wearing that stuff then.
But the Cowboys, they do have a lot of talent.
Oh gosh, that defense is.
They have so much talent; it's ridiculous. Micah Parsons,
he's a beast.
He is.
And I will say this: Dak has played better in this last few stretch of games. And granted, he's playing teams that are without winning records, but he has played better than I thought he would.
And they say he's well, I've heard, I don't know if it's 100% true, but he's making the play calls.
I don't know. I find that hard to believe with McCarthy there.
I do think, I do too, with his hot-headed ass, but
yeah, McCarthy. Well, he may be doing it so McCarthy can sit on the sidelines and find something to fuss at the referees about. Because every time they show him over there, McCarthy got something to fuss about with the referees. I don't know. I don't know how he finds so much to fuss about. And they're winning. But yeah,
they're winning 37-3.
All jokes aside, Eric, I'm being honest here. The two of the losses are against the only two teams y'all play with winning records. Y'all lost, which was a trap game to the Cardinals. I just don't know. I don't know what to think. I guess time will tell. better than Jason Garrett clapping his hands on. That's true.
Yeah.
But I guess these last 5 games will tell what I think of the Cowboys. I'm not really counting tonight because Seattle is not playing playoff caliber football right now.
And we
And
just talked about earlier, Geno
yeah,
Smith is taking some steps back. He ain't
yeah,
looking
I
good
just
right now.
I don't think they're playing. They'll win. Dallas could win tonight, and it'll probably be a blowout. But because I just don't see anything on the offensive side right now with the Seahawks that can compete with that defense. There's no weapons. I mean, what's his name? The wide receiver.
For
Is it
who?
for Seattle?
Oh,
Gosh, no. See, it sucks getting old.
I'm just not good at names.
I want to say Debo, but that's for the 49ers.
Yeah.
But he ain't even. I mean, if you can't get Geno, if he can't get the ball out there, then it doesn't matter who you got up there. Let's see.
I know 2X Giants are up there. Julian Love on their defense, but Julian Love and Leonard Williams.
I mean, you got Tyler Lockett as one of the receivers.
Yeah.
Not a household name. He's okay. Who is? Oh gosh, I can't believe I can't remember this kid's name.
The Rams? No.
No. I'll tell you just a second. A lot of silence, ain't it? DK Metcalf. I mean, he is that you got that, but it's not a team that strikes fear. And so I was like that. I had to think when I was making my picks this week. It's not a team that I was like I had to think about it with Dallas. I automatically put
Dallas.
Dallas up there. So, all right. So now that we talked about all that, and since we're talking about making picks, it's that time. Where
Sorry.
we get at? Let's see here. I'll get to my schedule. All right, tonight Seahawks and Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 9.5.
I got Dallas.
Yeah, I got Dallas. I think it'll be a blowout. Sunday Broncos and Texans. Texans favored by 3.5. I'm
Dude,
going
this one was tough for me. It was a little tough.
out here. I'm going Broncos.
I went Denver too.
Yeah, I'm going Broncos. I'll stay with them till they let me down. Chargers and Patriots. I got the Chargers.
Yeah, I got Chargers.
Lions and Saints and Tigers and Bears. Oh my.
Lions.
Yeah, Lions. Falcons and Jets.
I got the Falcons because they ain't looking too bad.
Yeah.
Better than the Jets.
All right, Eric's making his picks too. Eric picks Chargers and the Lions. Falcons. Colts and Titans. I'm going Colts.
I got the Titans. I do.
Okay. Panthers and Buccaneers.
I got the Buccaneers.
Think about it, Matthew.
No, I thought you were gonna say yours first.
No, if you had to think about it, Dolphins and Commanders. Oh, Dolphins. Browns and Rams. I'm going with the Rams.
I went with Rams.
49ers and Eagles. Whew.
That was tough.
I'm going 49ers.
I want the 49ers to win, but
Not Philly, but I'm gonna say they're gonna come in there. They want revenge for that NFC Championship game last year.
I want the 49ers to win, but I think Philly's gonna win.
It's in Philly, yes, it's in Philly, Eric. Chiefs and Packers.
Chiefs.
Yeah. And then the Monday night game, Bengals and Jaguars. Jaguars.
Yeah.
Um,
Jacksonville.
I skipped. We'll save these for the end. Your boys are off this week, right?
Yeah, we got bye week.
So Cardinals and Steelers.
I got the Steelers.
Good Lord. What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
Kyler Murray's there, though.
Yeah, but I think the Pittsburgh going to take it.
I hope you're right, but
Is it in Pittsburgh? Yeah.
yes, in Pittsburgh.
I think Pittsburgh going.
But I'm skeptical. I'm picking Pittsburgh, but I'm skeptical. Anyway. All right, so let's we'll end it like this. Next week we'll come back and talk about all of this good stuff again and what we think about maybe Von Miller. We'll know more about Von Miller's situation then. Because I sure think it's not going to turn out good for us.
No, I don't either.
See how it would. I mean, if he did that, then he needs some help and he needs to go somewhere. But why would you put your hands on a woman?
I don't get it. I don't get it either. Especially if she's pregnant. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Not saying that makes it.
I mean,
makes it better.
I know what you mean. I mean, you don't want to put your hands on a woman, period. But when she's pregnant too, that just adds, another level to it. But anyway, any last words, Matthew?
Nope. I'm the GOAT.
You're the GOAT. Yeah.
I'm the GOAT.
Yeah, you're the GOAT. All right. You eat anything. That's right. That's for sure. Just like a goat, you eat anything.
If you look at me, I can't disagree with you. Look at me.
Anyway.
Hey, I keep your job going though.
Yeah, you do. You keep eating all you want to. For Matthew, for Robert, for Brian, for Eric Sawyer. Go ahead and let it out, Matthew, is what Eric said. I am Stevie Fly. This has been the Final Score. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week on the Final Score.